And three, two, one. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 183 of the KBMOD podcast. It is March 29th, 2015. And boy, do we have a cast for you. Dan is currently taking a little sabbatical to watch some professional wrestling. Yes, you heard me properly. He's gonna, but Dan deserved. I don't think Dan's had a real break from the cast in a long time, right? I don't remember the last time he wasn't on.
Yeah,
It's been a little bit.
it's been a while.
But I mean,
WrestleMania.
other than when he had his stroke, and I told him, I was like, Dad, get on the fucking cast. I was like, you just had a stroke. It doesn't really matter. You can be back, but whatever. We let him. We won't count the stroke. We won't count the stroke. That was the other.
Let that one slide, I guess.
We'll let it slide for now. But
He had a doctor's excuse, so
he did. He did send the doctor's note.
We did make him bring a doctor's note.
That's true.
We do have that on file.
It was weird because the doctor's note was like, yeah, he almost died, but he's being a little bitch or something too, which I thought was a little harsh. I was like, that's a pretty serious experience, and the doctor was like, yeah.
Well, it seemed unnecessary. Like, I mean, I've never seen a doctor write like a snarky memo on the doctor's note, so that was kind of weird.
I've never seen a doctor actually draw a little doodle, like an insulting caricature of their patient.
Yeah.
With like X's in his eyes and I'm an asshole in a little speech bubble next to it. I thought that was kind of rude.
We really should have photocopied or taken a copy of that note and put it on the website, but
It's really unprofessional.
Either way,
Listen, with all the HIPAA laws and everything, it's private. We don't want to. We don't want to get it out there.
That's true.
Much.
It had some personal information on it anyway, so just be careful. But we do have a kind of special guest. It's not a normal thing. I mean, Tim, you're special to me. I'm just saying. I mean, people know you. I mean, who you are. I mean, people know that you
not
exist.
Not in the way that he's like unique or really that impressive. Just special in that it doesn't happen often.
Exactly. Yes. That's what I meant. Yes, but we have Tim, or Stafunoob, Calvert. Tim. How are you doing, man? How's everything going?
I'm doing well.
Can I ask you real quick? We said this at the beginning of the when the stream first went live, but it looks like with that green screen that you're laying on your back in bed. I know for the listeners who are, once again, I'm not, the last couple weeks, I'm not gonna lie, I've gone real hard on you listeners, right? And I've said you really should be here live, but I'm gonna try to take it down a notch because I've had some kickback and people have been saying, not kickback, that sounds like a political thing. I've gotten some money for saying that. No, I'm really selling out, boys. People are just giving me money. I don't know where it's coming from.
That's what you're looking for.
I'm getting some blowback. Thank you. So I'm gonna, you know what? For this week, if you're listening, I want to just thank you for being a listener. And but I will describe. Tim has a green screen that has a little depression in it, so it appears that he's laying on his back, and now he's doing it. Yeah. But I like the ensemble that you have on too. Tim's wearing all brown today. A little bit of blue, kind of pops.
A little blue.
Like the headphones. But yeah, we're gonna talk to.
Shirt.
Oh yeah, it is Extra Life. Didn't even notice. Very nice. Very cool shirt. So we're going to talk to Tim in a little bit, because Tim also obviously streams himself and also on KBMOD. And, there's little memes that surround Tim, like the Tim hole, and, we'll get some info on that.
Did I start that?
You hope. Nope.
I don't know who started that.
I just kind of said it one day.
I think
I didn't even know it was
in
a meme.
Slack. I think it's another Slack meme that came out, so Anion could be slayed by it.
Oh, gotcha.
But
I thought I started that by accident. Because one time I tweeted "fuck Tim" right in his Tim hole.
That was it.
Okay, that was it. Oh, that was the origin.
Sometimes
and
it's
then
hard to trace
it kind
the
of
origin
grew.
of memes, but it's good to keep a historical reference.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I think that's the first meme. I feel like Nick Fenton right now.
The first meme you've started.
My first meme.
Yeah. Wow. So we'll get into that. We're going to also ask Tim some rapid-fire questions and just let him answer off the cranium.
Before
so I'm really
we do that, Scott,
not right now.
We should probably let people know what day it is.
I did. I already said it right at the beginning. Were you not listening? I said I wrapped it all in a nice bow. I said episode 183, March 29th, 2015.
Oh, I must have been so entranced.
Yeah, it's fine.
That I was seeing your camera.
I know. I don't have my cam on often. I was saying, again, this is another thing. If you listen to the pre-show, you guys, you don't have to. Because I added all that shit out. Like, there's always all this gold. And Brandon's like, you could put some of that in. And I'm like, fuck the people that listen on the audio cast. I don't care, man. I cut all that. It's for the people. It's for the people that are here, right? And listening on time. But we talked about the fact that Dan, will try to tell me to turn my cam on. But it's only Brandon, man. It's like, I feel like when Brandon tells me, like, if I don't do it, I'll feel guilty. So you can thank Brandon for the cam today. But before we get into talking with Tim about a few things that are going on with him, I thought we would do our normal, like, what we've been playing this week. Or actually, first let's start with Tim about real life stuff. Tim, beyond the gaming stuff that we're already going to talk about. Did any fun little happenings happen to you?
Other than work and shit, Friday was the release of Trailer Park Boys season 9.
Oh.
So a bunch of us went over to Hex's house and drank and had cheeseburgers and lasted through that season, and it was a good time. It was a solid season.
How many episodes?
Only 10. Only 10 this time. But I feel because it was picked up by Netflix and it's now a Netflix original series, they don't get as much. They get money for it, but they kind of are along those restrictions as well. So they had 10, but it was a solid 10 episodes.
I've missed the whole Trailer Park Boys phenomena. I don't, it's a hole in it's a gap in my TV show watching.
I will give you a warning. The first season kind of sucks. And then after that, it really hits its stride. And then after that, it's kind of like the second season, you're kind of like, okay, all right. And then the third season is really good, and the fourth season is really good. Like, it's seriously, every season gets better. It's one of those shows.
I suggest watching it with a group of friends, some who have watched it already. That way, they can kind of keep you going with it and explain the little things to you until you catch on, and then from there on, it's hilarious. It has its weak moments, but this past season was just phenomenal. I will throw it out there.
That is one I do want to check that out eventually. I'm trying to finish House of Cards. I'm real late on that. I know it's been out for a while, but I'm working on that right now. All right, so you did that. Anybody, Blah, John, Brandon, anything else of note?
Went to Brandon's housewarming party last night and got obliterated.
Yeah, that's right.
That was good.
That's right. Tried Zing Zang for the first time. It's pretty good. Bloody Mary mix.
Okay.
I thought Zing Zang was like a really common thing to know
I've
about.
never heard of
Zing Zang?
Nobody
Zing
drinks
It's a
Bloody
Bloody
Marys
Mary
as
mix.
often as you. That's the thing.
I love Bloody
They're
Marys.
pretty, I guess, I don't know if it's a regional thing, but like Bloody Marys are pretty popular in Texas. Maybe because there's like a large. This sounds so stupid to say, but like a brunch culture. A lot of
Can you
people
say brunch culture one more time? I just want to hear you say brunch culture one more time.
I feel like it's something that if you don't live in Texas, like you definitely will not understand. But especially like in the Dallas area, a lot of people go to brunch on on Saturdays, Sundays, especially Sundays, like after church and stuff. And so Bloody Marys with brunch is like a pretty common thing. But Zing Zang is just like a type of Bloody Mary mix. So if you're making your own Bloody Marys and you don't want to do it full out fresh with like all the raw ingredients, Zing Zang mix is like the best mix you can get, I think.
Okay.
I don't particularly dislike Bloody Marys, but it's also not a beverage that I'm like, if I have the option, that I'm going to choose. But maybe I just haven't.
Bloody Marys are good when you're just having a drink and you're not eating anything. For me, I just like having it as like a little meal. Sort of.
They're super heavy. It's a perfect brunch. It's great for hangover. Fantastic for hangover when your stomach can't really handle food all that well, and you on top of that, so basically get like a little bit of a liquid diet thing going on, and then on top of that, you also get a little bit of the whole hair of the dog to bitch thing. So
now the question is, have you ever drank a Bloody Mary while actually doing Bloody Mary in your bathroom into a mirror, the lights off or whatever?
No, but I have drunk a Bloody Mary when I was on my period.
Oh, okay. That was gonna be my next question, so I'm glad. Well, you're 1 for 2. That's good because I was gonna ask both of those.
I could do that. I mean, I have a bathroom mirror.
See, someone in chat can back me up that brunch culture is totally a thing. So
I believe you. I mean, it's similar in and at least in where I live in Los Angeles, brunches. I mean, Sundays everybody's out for brunch, but I don't know if it's
like a
that's more of a
concert or
Sunday
something,
thing.
like a day concert. Bloody Marys are just clutch.
Okay, that's interesting.
I've never had a good Bloody Mary.
They're clutch every
experience.
morning. Whenever
you gotta get good. First off, you have to be down with drinking something spicy, which is already weird. It's weird to have a spicy drink, right?
That's the thing is I don't really drink spicy liquor type drinks often, but Bloody Marys are the one that like a good spicy Bloody Mary is great.
Yeah. You have to have a good like handmade one. Usually, it also depends a lot on like if you get one somewhere, like if you go out to like a bar or something. I don't know who would really order a Bloody Mary at a bar. But, you just randomly get a hankering for one, or like just maybe order it at a place. What they garnish it with is actually a pretty big deal. I had one that was garnished with like a pickled like pearl onion and olive and something else. It was fantastic.
I feel like brunch culture should be a fucking show on NPR. Like, this is Krista Tippett, and you're listening to Brunch Culture. Our guest today is Brandon Volition, and he is going to talk about the brunch culture in Texas or some shit.
We're going to
Anyway,
talk about brunch culture in Texas as well as some skiing routes.
yeah, exactly. God, I don't know. Maybe we can get that started. Maybe we'll start a brunch culture podcast or something.
Yeah.
That's if we do a food like a food related podcast, we could call it brunch culture. That's not a bad name.
That isn't a bad name.
That's a
No, that's
solid
true.
name.
But would we just be narrowing ourselves down to brunch? You don't think that's too narrowing?
Well, yeah,
I don't
mean,
know.
maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe I mean the people that you bring in with the brunch niche, like those are your influencers in the food scene. So.
Oh my God, this is getting deep.
Did we already have a
I'll
name for our food cast? It was like KB Nom or something.
Yeah,
Maybe Nom's
That one-
another solid one.
I don't like
that's
that one.
actually
It's too mean.
yeah.
Dude.
Okay, well that was
Nom,
interesting.
nom,
I just
nom.
learned a lot about Texas. I learned more about Bloody Marys, and holy shit, I learned about brunch culture. So I mean, already this is why I do this. Like,
Don't let anyone tell you this podcast is not educational.
exactly.
You learn. We basically are a great supplement for your parents. Like if you don't
Yeah.
have parents, you can just watch this podcast.
Oh yeah,
Or
KB
school.
Munch was
That was
story.
a KB Munch. That's
That's
way
right.
better.
Be good. Well, Brandon, once again, I don't want to shoot down your brunch culture idea either. I mean, I would love to do a spin-off cast, with the guys that aren't in the KB Munch podcast. So talk to me about it later, maybe off
for
stream.
sure.
All right, well that's good. I have to share this story real quick because this is something that happened to me, and most people, I share this on my stream, but I just have to. I'll tell the shortest version that I can. I tweeted about it. Sark tweeted about it. Nick tweeted about it. So I was home. I think it was Friday. I think it was Friday night, or this last weekend, and Nick and I were just chilling, and we decided to watch a movie. And right before we ordered food, and then right before we were about to watch this movie, I got a text from Sark saying, "Hey man, there's a It Follows showing, and we had wanted to see the movie for a while." He was like, "Do you guys want to go?" And we were like, "Nah, we're pretty set now. We already ordered food, but you're welcome to come over here if you don't want to go to that movie." And he was
We're
like, "Nah."
already inside each other, Sark.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're docking, and at this point, there's not much I can
it's
do.
just-
But so he goes, "Nah." He goes, "I'm just gonna probably crash early then. But whatever, we'll try to see it another time." So I don't really think anything of it. And Nick and I are kind of selling in. It's a pretty fucked up movie. So and we haven't seen it before. So we're a little bit on edge. But that's what we like to do, man. Watch a movie with my roommate. Order some pizza, have a nice little Friday night. So. Fast forward to, I don't know, about 20 minutes later, we're sitting there, the movie's really starting to pick up a little bit, and we hear this banging sound on the wall, which is kind of weird. It's not directly on the door, it almost sounds like it's coming from the other side of the kitchen. And so I'm just kind of sitting there, I'm not really noticing it at first, I thought it was in the movie, but I can see, all of a sudden I see Nick looking over in the direction of the door, and he looks a little concerned, and then I hear it, and it's just kind of sounds like that, and I'm like, that's odd. I don't know what's going on. It sounds like somebody's knocking, but almost like they're in the hallway. So, and then it stops for a minute, and so we turn down the movie a little bit, and I was like, is somebody at the door? And Nick is like, I'm not too sure. So we just wait, and then all of a sudden we start hearing this sound. I'll try to make the sounds as best I can. It sounded like scratching on the door. I don't know if you can hear this. I'll move the mic, but and then louder and louder, and then it really started, and then there was serious banging on the door, but methodical and slow. So right away, so now I jump up and I'm like, okay, this is really strange, and I go, hello, is anybody there? And I don't walk to the door because now I'm kind of spooked. I mean, I'm trying not to be too spooked, but I'm a little bit spooked, and there's no answer. It stops though. The sound stops, so I'm like, okay, this is really odd. And now Nick's eyes are the size of the fucking moon, and he's looking at me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, okay, let's not do the typical white guy thing. Let's not freak out. It's probably absolutely nothing. It's probably just some mistaken identity, somebody trying.
So
to
you
come
put
in.
on some Digital Underground.
Yeah, it's. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna go check it out. I'll be the brave one, and because at this point Nick is not moving from the couch. I can tell. I was like, you go check it out, and he's like, no, you go check it out. And so I creep up to the door, and there's intermittent knocking and scratching, and I don't know what else. And then right when I get close to the door, the handle starts jiggling. and I'm like, oh, like okay, this is like somebody's trying to break in, but why? Like they clearly know that we're here, so I'm really freaked out. So I creep up to the peephole. I must have looked like I don't know, like I was in a fucking. I felt like I was in a movie. I'm creeping up. I look through the peephole, and all of the lights in the hallway that are normally lit are out. They're dark, and I'm like, what? Like and so. So as soon as I saw that and I looked through the peephole and I see the lights in the hallway are out, I go from being like, this is probably just nothing to like, I am going to die. There is some kind of, I don't know what I thought. Well, I do know what I thought. I was like, somebody is in this apartment building going door to door and trying to get people to open their door so that they can execute them. I'm just going to say it. That's immediately what I jumped to because it was really, really bizarre. So I shoot back from the door right away and I like run back to the couch and stand behind it, and Nick's really freaked out because I haven't said anything, and he's just looking at me run from the door, and I go, I'm making motions to him. I'm like, turn down, stop the movie. So he stops the movie, and I yell out again. I go, hello, who is it? Is anybody there? Knocking stops again, and then as I'm talking, I'm like, hello. It just keeps going. Louder and louder and harder, and then like the door is really jiggling. And so now I'm like, I am absolutely convinced. I'm like, if it was anybody we knew, they would have said something right now. If it was just mistaken identity, they would have said something. So I look at Nick and I'm like, Nick, we have to go into the bedroom. So his bedroom, which is the farthest one away from the door. So we run into the bedroom. I shut the door behind us. I lock it. And I have my phone, and I'm like, dude, I was like, what do we do? I don't know. I've never been in this situation before. Like, this is really bizarre, and it's really freaking me out. And so I'm, like, starting to be like, am I going to call 911? I don't, like, I've never called 911 over something like this. But, like, I think this situation, at least to have somebody come out and take a look. Because I was like, my options are either wait for it to be over or open the door. And I'm not fucking opening the door at this point. There's just no chance. So I asked Nick, and he's just looking at me. He's like, I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I was like, am I being crazy? And he's like, no, it's weird. He's like, it's absolutely weird. So I get my phone and I dial 911, and it rings and it rings and it rings. Then a woman picks up and, hello, this is 911. Oh my God. And at this point, my hand's shaking as I'm holding the phone. So, and I'm like, hello, yes, there. And my voice is like 10 octaves higher than it normally is. I'm like, hello, this is Scott Fisher, and I give my address and all this stuff, and I go, currently, there is somebody at my door, and I said, they're knocking and scratching on the door, and I go, and this is the most embarrassing part of this whole story, I go, they are not responding to audio cues. I don't know why I said, that was the only thing I could try to explain what was happening. They cannot respond. They are not responding to audio cues. And I could tell the woman was kind of like, they're not responding to audio cues. What the fuck? So I had to kind of explain it a little bit. And she was like, okay. She was like, all right. She's like, but you're in the apartment still? You're in the apartment still? And I'm like, yes, I'm still in the apartment. And we're locked in the bedroom, and we're trying to stay away from the door. And I explained that the hallway lights were out and all this stuff. And she's like, okay. She's like, she got my address, and she's like, let me transfer you to the nearest police department, right? So I'm waiting. She's transferring me. The phone's ringing and ringing and ringing. And as it's ringing, I'm like, is this fucking how 911 operates? Because I swear to God, like, if someone doesn't pick up soon, we're going to be dead. I was like, we're going to be dead. I'm imagining that whoever's at the door is going to shoot the lock open. And I was like, we can't stay behind a locked door. He's just going to shoot all the locks. And then he's going to come in here. So then I'm like, Nick, should we go in the closet? It's just pure panic. And so finally, someone picks up and they go, hello. And I have to explain my story again. Mind you, I'm on the phone with 911 for about like 6 minutes before I even get a dispatch, which I'm sure they do cases, I know, in order of priority. If I had said, I'm shot and bleeding, I'm assuming it would have been a lot quicker. But next time, I'll probably say that. But finally, they're like, okay, we'll dispatch someone. Just try to sit tight and, not panic and whatever. And I'm like, okay. No sooner did I get off the phone with 911 than my phone rings. And I'm like, who the fuck is calling me? And I look at it, and it's fucking Sark. And I'm like, wait a minute, why the fuck is Sark calling me right now? So I pick up the phone, and I'm like, hello? And he's like, are you going to let me in or what? And I'm like, you motherfucker. I'm like, and I don't even say anything. I just fucking hang up the phone. I run to the door, I open it, and Sark is standing there. And as soon as I open the door, he just starts fucking busting out laughing. He's holding, by the way, McDonald's and a fucking like 32-ounce drink cup. And he was like, what's going on? He's like, you guys, what is going on? And I was like, what the fuck did you do? I was like, you don't understand. I was like, we were just so scared. We were locked in Nick's room. I just called 911. The cops are on the way. You just scared me so bad in my own house that I called the cops. And he's like, no fucking way. And he just fucking bust out laughing. Anyway, long story short, I'm like, fuck, now the cops are coming. Now if the cops come here, what am I going to say? Like, yeah, it was just a prank. Sorry to waste your time. So he's like, well, just call him back. I'm like, well, I don't even know what dispatch I got. I mean, I was like, I can maybe just call 911 and maybe they'll feed it back through. So finally, after he's done laughing, I call 911 and I finally get them before the cops end up coming, and we kind of nipped it in the bud there. But it was the scare. I mean, I honestly, for the 15 minutes that whole ordeal was going down, that was the closest I ever felt to being in like an actual situation. So now I know if I'm ever in a life or death situation and I don't have a phone, I'm totally screwed because I totally shut down basically. Though I did take action, and Nick does give me credit because Nick was pretty paralyzed, and so I was like, that was the most action that I could have done. And it turned out that what I had seen was not that the hallway lights were on. This motherfucker Sark had a picture of a really creepy eye on his phone that was up, right? And he put it up to the peephole. And this was just totally random timing. So when I creeped up and looked out the peephole, I saw this. I didn't even register what it was. It turned out to be, you know, a picture of an eye, but it just looked to me, in my panic mind, it just looked like a darkened hallway, right? And he didn't even plan for it. He just wanted to scare us a little bit and then have us open the door. And anyway, so there you go. That's what happened. And I'm, you know, I just gonna, you know.
Whenever you look at people, do you ever just expect some like The Grudge shit to just scuttle by real quick?
Yeah.
And you're just gonna like, you're just like, is that real? Did that really just happen?
Like Nick
for
was
some reason.
Like Nick was.
People are the scariest fucking thing on the planet.
Yeah, or like that when I was gonna like look through it, that there was gonna be a gun there and just someone's gonna shoot me through the peephole. Like
that's always my worst fear.
Like
looking through people.
Nick and I were considering, we were like, should we jump off the balcony and just go around the back and see who this is? Like
how high up are you?
We're not super high. I mean, we could do it. It wouldn't be fun, but we could do it. Anyway, so I just told Stark, I said, you're never going to top that, man. I don't know how you can do it. So he was very happy with how it ended up working out. But anyway, so that happened. Yeah, that happened to me this last weekend. So good times all the way around.
Sounds like a harrowing ordeal.
It was. My life, you know, for that 15 minutes, it was fight or flight, and we chose flight times calling 911, you know? That was our choice. But, okay, so let's get into what we've been playing this week, and then we'll talk to Tim about some stuff. But let's start with Tim as to what
this week, mainly it's just been Bloodborne. The game came out Tuesday. It's phenomenal. I love it. On the PC side of things, I would do a little bit of Street Fighter. I try and put up a couple hours of it each week, but the online scene of that is just awful on PC. The netcode's terrible. It lags in and out of matches every time, so I don't know why I put myself through it, but I try and think it's going to get better. It doesn't.
Is Bloodborne the killer app for the PS4? Is it worth just buying a PS4 for
yes.
Most people would say so, yes. It was one of the title games I was going to get whenever I did my PS4. But definitely, if you're a fan of the Soul series, it's definitely worth getting that game.
I love watching stream it. Like, I really enjoy it. I just know that I would get my ass kicked, but I guess that's part of the point.
Oh,
right? That's part of the game, yeah.
Definitely part of the game. And I don't know about you, Tim. Personally, I think it's like harder than Dark Souls.
I think going into it, if I was like a brand new player, I would think so. But I've played through Dark Souls 1, 2, and Demon Souls, so I kind of have those mechanics down at this point in time.
People are saying it's more casual than those other games, though.
I don't see people getting stuck in like certain spots for as long of a period of time as I did with like Dark Souls 1.
Yeah, maybe I haven't, but I do find that the game, you would think that going into it that it's a lot easier because the game is a lot faster than Dark Souls. The movement's a lot more fluid, your character moves quicker, but enemies attack much faster at the same time to kind of make up for it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. People say it's a lot easier. Like, how do I put it? People are saying Dark Souls 1 is a lot more to it, and I would say that's true. Like, the stats don't feel like they have enough influence, or I've been saying like girth. They just don't feel like they have enough impact in the game.
Yeah.
And girth is the best way I can describe it. Like, yeah, you have like your strength, and you can put your stuff in strength to hit harder, but like, what else does that affect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want girth. I want it to affect more than just that.
For girth.
So, I mean, that being said, it's still
you get it inside you, and you just don't feel much. Needs more girth.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Is there anything else, Tim?
Um,
Game wise?
That's
Sorry.
Street Fighter, and then that's pretty much it.
Okay. Blah. What about you?
Also playing Bloodborne a bit.
Mhm.
I'm only like past the second boss. I think I made it to the third. I won't go into spoilers, but also bosses can kind of be done out of order, so that's subjective depending on how you're playing. I'm kind of pissed because I use so the healing items in this game, unlike Dark Souls, don't replenish when you revisit a bonfire, and it's not hard to stock them up. Most enemies drop them with relatively common frequency, but you can only hold a max of 20. I used all 20 on my first attempt at the third boss that I encountered, and then died anyway. So I am completely out of healing items. I think I had maybe like 10 in reserve after that in like my bank. So now I have to farm them up in order to continue like running against this boss, which is, in my opinion, one of the more frustrating aspects of the game. But overall, it's like it's so good, it's so beautiful, it's fucking terrifying. It's a lot more horror.
Yes, the
than
atmosphere is
Dark
so
Souls.
damn good.
It's not
So
only
damn
that
good.
oppressive atmosphere that Dark Souls has, it also has an incredibly, in a good way, scary atmosphere. Way more than I expected. It feels very much like a horror game in a couple of regards, and the it's almost scarier that enemies talk to you. Because in Dark Souls, you were always, I don't know about Demon Souls, but I assume it was the same. It was very medieval, and all your enemies were kind of like mindless demons. So
Yeah.
they would kind of see you and they go rawr and attack you, basically, right? In Dark Souls, they're like, kill that thing, or in Bloodborne, excuse me, they're like, kill that thing, fuck that guy. And the fact that your enemies are actually intelligent is a little bit scarier for some reason. They seem like, they seem to be undergoing a transformation and seems to be affecting their brain, so they're still kind of simple, but they're like, just the fact that they communicate with you to a certain extent. Like, they wave a torch in front of them and go, away, away! Like, something about that is way more terrifying. I don't know why. But it's also, the art style, the setting, everything. It's very, very grim in a really beautiful, amazing way. I really like that game. I'm playing some Final Fantasy 14, Hearthstone, Monster Hunter, usual.
Okay.
Nothing
John,
exciting.
what about you?
I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, just like fucking around with it, and Heroes of the Storm a little bit.
What do you think of Heroes?
It's not
played it.
Dota, so
It's not Dota.
I mean I've been playing some Dota too, but
It's way simpler, right? I mean, then
yeah, I mean I think it has a lot of potential. Honestly, I'm not going to be the hater that most people are being with it. It's different, and it runs like shit, which also sucks. So
okay.
I've heard that about
yeah, it runs really bad. Like I'm playing right now, and I have like 50 FPS with stuff on the screen. So
Okay. Cool. Brandon, what about you?
Not really a whole lot. Just Hearthstone and an ARAM here and there.
Yeah, there it is. Was waiting to hear about that ARAM
Yeah.
every week. Just a nice little crispy ARAM snack, Maybe play a little bit of.
Exactly. It's a
what's-
snack. That's what it is.
Who's your go-to champ? If you, well, obviously it's
Well,
it's random. But who are champs that you like?
Who do you fist pump whenever you get?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Not
mean,
that
like
bad.
Ziggs is the best champ in ARAM by a long shot.
Amen. Ziggs
But
is a
really,
great
like
champ in general.
any AD carry is pretty good. Varus, Ashe,
Okay.
Sometimes I like the Singed or Blitzcrank, the ones that you can grab people and make them sad.
Playmakers. Yeah,
Can you say that one more?
Thresh is usually.
You like grabbing people and making them sad.
That's right. That's
Don't
right.
we all?
Me too. I like that too.
It's my every Saturday night.
Jesus.
But, yeah,
Okay.
I haven't played a whole lot. I got a key for Battlefield Hardline, but I haven't been able to play it yet. So hopefully I'll get a chance to play that this week.
Okay. Cool.
I've just
Well,
been
speak.
watching a bunch of Ultra.
Yeah, me too. I've been doing that a lot. Got seduced a little bit back into League of Legends. Not playing anything like I'm not going to be playing it on stream or anything, but just as like a stress relief in a weird way because I don't play it and take it all that seriously. So we'll have to get back, Brandon. Me and you. We'll play some this week.
ARAM.
Kind of playing that off
Brunch
stream.
culture.
ARAM brunch culture. Yeah, maybe Sunday, maybe next Sunday morning we'll get some. You know what? We'll both go out and get some breakfast and then we'll eat our brunch together and then play some ARAM.
Yeah, we'll have
I
a
love
Bloody
it.
Mary and play an ARAM.
Oh, I like that. Okay, that'll be good. Beyond that, just playing a lot of CS:GO as usual. And what else? I started The Darkness 2, which I need to finish. Which I liked it. I don't know. I didn't like streaming it though all that much. And I'm gonna be starting Grand Theft Auto 4 on PC here soon, but I haven't started that. Other than that, this week, what else did I play? I'm trying to remember. I don't think I had all that all that much variety. But if that's it, I think. Did anybody else have any other? I didn't skip anybody. No, Stan's not here. So, anything else? Anything else to say before or forever hold your peace, everybody? No.
Fuck video games.
Okay. Nice. All right. Well, this is the part where do we want to run 3 minutes of ads right here, Brandon, or do we want to talk to?
Let's do a little segment with Tim.
All right. Let's do the Tim segment. All right.
This
Tim.
is not going to be very long. Let's be honest.
Wow. Oh, that's right. What am I? I knew there was one huge thing I was missing. Thank you, everybody in chat. I did play the Life is Strange episode 2. And I liked it a lot less than the first episode. I thought the first episode kind of had a decent amount of potential. This one wasn't terrible, but it was pretty rough in a lot of parts. And I don't know. We're going to have to see where the story goes. And some of the dialogue and stuff is... I played Game of Thrones. I'm such an idiot. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know where my brain is.
How do you
I played
catalog like these basic things?
I don't even know. Like it's like I played them and I already forgot them. I don't know what that says.
Just live one day at a time.
I do, Brandon. I'm telling you. You should. My schedule. I can only like right now. I'm only thinking of the next word that I just said. Said. See, I just said. Okay, that's all I can do. And Game of Thrones episode 3, which was actually okay overall. But I'm starting the Telltale luster is starting to wear a little bit thin.
Yeah, they're all very similar.
They're very similar, and also I just realized that the whole I fucking am irked by I just hate the way everybody talks in fucking Game of Thrones. I fucking hate the names of people. I hate that everybody like everything is so dramatic, and it's like well, we got to kill your whole family now, and I know that that's just part of. I mean, they're following the books, pretty much. I don't think they branch off all that much, though. There's a few things here and there with side characters, but overall, though, there was some pretty monumental stuff that happened in the episode, so that wasn't too bad. But and even with the Life is Strange, it wasn't great, but it's like $5, so I couldn't really be mad. And it's a fun game to stream because even if even if you're not having all that much fun with it, it's the chat will keep you entertained. So we like they basically looked up like every hipster word in the dictionary, and amazeballs was used in the episode multiple times, like non-ironically. She was like, "Wow, that's amazeballs." I was like, "Yeah, it's
gross.
It's rough. It's rough." Yeah, they do. Yeah, Scott Shark. The books, from what I or they follow the show, not the books. I don't know. People were saying mixed things. Some people said that it followed the show plot, and other people were saying that was from the book. So I haven't read the book, so I don't know. But okay. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, I totally forgot that I played both of those. I don't know. I guess they had zero impact on me. All right, but let's talk about you, Tim. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. First of all, would you like to talk a little bit about how long you've been doing stuff for KBMOD, and then you can pimp out your own stuff maybe a little bit, and then I'll ask you a few questions.
So I've been, I guess, doing stuff for KBMOD for about 2 years now. We'll be coming up on 2 years sooner rather than later, I guess. Just been streaming for the channel. I try and write things here and there, but I'm awful at writing, so I just kind of, plug away a little bit. But if I can't do it, then I just don't do it. But mainly just streaming. I was doing the Thursday night spot, but with work and how everything just works out for me, Sunday mornings is actually better for me. So I've been on
brunch stream.
Brunch stream, yeah, pretty much.
Brunch time.
And there, just like my own channel, we just play through different games. We did Saints Row 4 when we first started that off, and now we're going through Far Cry 4, and that's another game I played, is Far Cry 4 this week. But I'm actually really enjoying that game. I didn't think I was going to enjoy Far Cry 4 after Far Cry 3. I like the gameplay of Far Cry 3, but the actual story and writing Far Cry 3 was awful, I felt. But 4 is actually like 10 times better than that, so it's at least in my opinion, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I just play different games. I don't have a go-to game. I switch it up all too often.
What time is your spot on Sundays?
10 Eastern to 1 to 2 Eastern.
Okay.
3 to 4 hours a week, depending on how I'm feeling that day.
There you go. So, I think a lot of people know that KBMOD has content, streams all during the week. But if you don't know, I'm assuming, is there a schedule up on the website somewhere? Or is it more like...
There's a calendar of streams.
There's a calendar, yes. We just have to be responsible to plug it in as the streamer.
So, there you go. This is, getting Tim on here was just a really elaborate attempt to pimp all of the streams and be like, you guys should be watching, which I know a lot of you guys know about them, but, if there's maybe a listener who stumbled in from a Chris Hode's review on iTunes, right, didn't know that we actually have a website and, and a Twitch channel, they can go and check those streams out. All right, Tim, what we're going to do here now is, let's see. Oh, yeah, also you can promote, it even says, I don't know if you wrote this, but Dan said that you should pimp your Twitter out, so pimp that Twitter out, Tim.
Where can still in there from earlier.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I still have that in there from earlier.
Okay. Is your Twitter on screen right? Oh, it is. Okay. Never mind.
It's all up there, yeah.
For the listeners, I mean, I don't know what listeners would want to follow.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
It's twitter.com/Stafunoob. That's STAFUNOOB. And twitch.tv/
Is that now how you pronounce it with the
it's pronounced Stafu.
That's what I've always said.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of taken on a thing of its own.
Why? What do you say, Brandon? What is your?
I always have the emphasis on the first syllable. Stafunoob.
Oh, okay.
It's also.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, you're hearing from Tim that he's saying that you're saying it wrong, Brandon.
I mean, I very rarely ever refer to Tim. Period.
Wow.
It's really not a big problem for me.
That's the response I was hoping for. So thanks, Brandon.
All right, Tim, we're going to hit you with some rapid fire questions here. Once again, these we've done this segment obviously with Megan a couple times as well. Just off the top of your head, just say whatever comes to mind for you. Okay, so you have to choose between putting on a bra and a thong. What do you choose?
Thong.
If you could be any color, what would you be?
Blue.
I just like looking at Tim's faces. He's like, what the fuck are these
I'm trying to think about it, but I shouldn't go on.
What is your favorite animal, Tim?
Turtle.
A turtle. Okay. I'm gonna take some of these from chat too.
That felt awfully judgmental.
No.
Turtle?
A turtle.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with the turtle.
Okay.
People in chat are already responding. See, I think we're I'm not trying to polarize the audience against you, but people are really shocked at your thong answer. Why not the brassiere?
I get a rash.
You get a rash with that.
I would get a rash. I don't know by experience, but I would get a rash.
What is your favorite anime?
Anime.
Or do you not watch anime?
I don't watch anime.
If you were a pizza, Tim, what toppings would you have on you? That's a good one.
Sausage and bacon.
Yes, you would.
Yes, I would.
I like that sausage was
Double
first.
pork in it.
Yeah, man. People are asking if you're wearing a 1G shirt, but that is an Extra Life shirt.
Yes, it's an Extra Life shirt.
So, sorry.
I'm wearing a 1G shirt.
Oh, okay.
John
no,
is.
yeah, you are. Never mind. I didn't even notice John was. Okay, maybe they're talking about John. Very nice. All right. Well, I think that's really it, Tim. Those are all the really pressing questions that we had.
Those are hard.
How much
now you guys
bench
know me
press,
better.
Tim?
Oh, bench press.
Bench press?
Yeah.
I haven't actually done that since high school, but it was shit. I don't even remember.
Like tree fitty?
Yeah, somewhere there.
A few more.
No, I
coming in.
really don't remember.
How do you keep your hair so red?
Fuck. That's the first response.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's your answer. If you could be any race, what would you be?
Oh shit.
You can just say
orc. Definitely orc.
Yeah.
You're bad.
I mean, I rocked a mean dwarf, so.
I'm Pandaren.
Tim, if you could work me dick, would you work at Twitch? From Katie Zen. I think that's more back to the Brandon meme. All right.
Yes.
Well, okay. All right. Anyway, well, that's a good. I think the main reason that we do these rapid fire questions is to kind of just give people a little look behind the scenes, and so we know that you like sausage as the topping. We know that you get rashes when you try to wear brassieres. I mean, I think we're getting a real good picture of Tim here. So.
Of who you are and what you're all about, yeah.
Exactly. Dwarf.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are multiple pictures created after this cast involving one or more of those things.
It's an elaborate attempt to have the most insane Tim Photoshop of all time. It could be good. All right. Well, that's good. Any parting words before we hang up on you? I'm just kidding. Brandon just.
I don't know the fingers on the trigger. No. Just it's an honor and privilege to finally be on this podcast. Long time listener, first time.
Well, we're done.
You don't have to.
Caller.
You don't have to.
First time caller.
That's okay. I know. You just can't wait for this to be over, so it's all right, Tim. All right. No, but thanks for coming on and pinch hitting for. I don't even know if you're pinch hitting for Dan. I mean,
John Cena. John Cena wins the world championship. So.
Yeah. Is that what just
Dude,
happened?
spoilers.
RKO from John Cena out of nowhere.
Oh damn.
The sound of that applause right now through John's mic, I can hear it. Say, okay. All right. Well, I think Brandon, I think we're gonna break here, right? And then when we come back, we'll get into some of the news.
Yeah, well, the last
Here.
last little piece before we move into the break is
yes, go
we have
ahead.
a build guide live stream tomorrow. So this is kind of a new idea that we have. I think it's going to be Dan, Bob, and maybe Nikon. They're going to be discussing the build guides on like live on stream, and then I think they're going to post the build guides afterwards. So it's kind of like a little hardware type podcast discussing hardware that's coming out and the hardware that's going to be in the build guides this month. So if you're listening to the audio version, it will have been yesterday, but if you're listening live, tomorrow, Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. So yeah, check that out.
Yeah, so come by and we should have the build guide post out shortly after that. So you can look forward to that as well. So we are going to take a quick 3-minute commercial break, and then we will be back with some news.
I didn't know that was tomorrow night. That's good to know.
Once again, Brandon, you're really illustrating that if you listen to this podcast, on the day it's released, you also miss things like live streams that you didn't actually know about because they happened the day before. So,
well, I mean,
once again,
they should follow us on social media. Like, they should basically be living KBMOD. So it's like you wouldn't miss it, right?
That's
you would
true.
still hear about it, but you get a little sneak peek if you watch live.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be interesting. I mean, I wonder how many. I wonder if that podcast or that cast is going to devolve into people just being like, have all their computer parts out and be like, Bob, what do I do? And then like Bob having to try to, I don't know, help. I mean, are they going to be helping people in real time?
Tech support
Yeah,
podcast.
it becomes tech support. Yeah, they're like, okay, so I'm trying to seat the motherboard and it's not setting properly. You're
I
like, don't
used
know.
I bent a
I used
CPU
peanut butter as
pin.
thermal paste. Am I doing it right?
They're just sending pictures and it's a nightmare. We'll have to see. Oh man. So you said it's going to be what? That's going to be Nikon, Dan, and Bob. You think?
I believe so. I believe
Okay.
that's the team.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll
We'll see
definitely.
if Bob makes it through a single episode of that.
Yeah. Why? Before he just
No,
leaves?
just before he explodes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Says something really horrible and then has to actually distance himself from KBMOD totally and officially.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, the statements are already written up apparently. So
Yeah, Blah has it ready to go. Just send it to Bob and
Oh yeah, I'm good.
fill it in.
he's got
Just
a
give me
PR,
the-
he's
just
got
give
a
me the
PR
word.
email ready to send.
It's like Mad Libs for PR. That's how Nick has it set up. Just insert your words. Oh man.
And speaking of which, since we're not back from break yet, you're welcome to subscribe to our channel if you want to catch
Yes.
the little witty banter while the commercials go on. You can support the stream, support young people like Tim who stream on this channel and do not receive compensation for it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'll pay
also
taxes
get-
on it. I'm all right with it.
No. Also get fantastic emotes like KBMOD A.
Which is the best website or the best emote on our website.
Agreed.
That's true.
Agreed. I'm spamming it right now, but you can't see that because you're a fucking filthy audio listener. But whatever, it's fine. We also have the Master Race emote, which is a great one too. So you can make all your console peasant friends mad. So yeah, there's a lot of value, and then obviously not getting ads. So you guys been watching that Ultra, huh? As well.
So good.
So good.
That's been
I'm
good.
not even-
Yeah, we
I'm not even
spent some
a huge
time.
electronic music fan, but I think live shows are just
enjoyable.
live shows are very different vibe.
Yeah. DJ Snake's set was just.
That's where the strength comes in.
Good.
Are we back from break?
No, not yet. We will be back
Okay.
shortly.
Why you got something? You got something to say right at the break right there, Nick Jenkins, or what?
Thanks for the fire.
Welcome to the worst part of everyone's week.
All right, we are back from break.
Okay, I'd like to address the fact that I'm shitting on audio listeners randomly. Can you tell that I was kidding about not shitting on them earlier? People are kind of confused in the chat as far as if I'm going to go easy. And no, I'm not. I was just kidding about that. There was no sincerity in that. If you listen, I appreciate that you listen, but you should definitely join us live if you can. Anyway, it's the last thing I'm going to say about it tonight.
So yeah, so we're back from break. We've got some news. First little bit of news. There's not a whole lot this week, but the first thing is that they're apparently going to be able to lock out other operating systems from Windows 10. So this was something that was optional with Windows 8, I think. But they're going to OEMs are going to be able to lock other operating systems from being installed on like a PC that you buy, which is like pretty bad. I'm not sure like what the. I'm interested to see if any OEMs actually decide to do this, because this seems like a great reason not to buy from a certain OEM.
Right, if they're going to lock it, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, once again, this just confirms that my decision to buy a you know what? I'm just done with Windows, man. I'm going to Mac, and you can't stop me, boys. I'm out, dude. I like to game, and I don't like to be hampered, so I'm going to be over on the Mac side now.
Yeah,
this is
true.
the last straw.
Like
Finally
user
breaking
choice.
free of these legacy shackles.
Oh man,
It's time
no,
to take a stand.
it is time to take a stand, or maybe Linux. Is it time? Do we all make the switch? Are we doing it?
Maybe.
In
Sean
mass?
can teach us.
I mean, they just crossed 1,000 games on Linux on Steam.
I know.
So
I did see that.
There's
That
never been a
happened.
better time, I suppose.
Um,
There's some decent games.
but this
so
is
it's not
just. I mean, but
indie ones.
this only really this only matters if PC manufacturers decide to. I mean, it doesn't seem like. You think
Yeah,
they will do it? It seems like a
I
stupid.
mean, I don't think this would be. I don't know. It seems like such a risk for an OEM to take, to lock
Yeah.
out other operating systems, just because like that hurts the resale value of a PC. It clearly like even
Yeah.
people that don't care about that stuff, like they'll care. I think they will care because other companies, like other OEMs, will use it as a selling point.
Mhm.
They'll put
Yeah,
it in their
that's
marketing
true.
material. So like I think the PC industry is pretty competitive when it comes to like pre-built PCs. So I don't know that they'll be able to get away with it. I think they will want to keep it disabled so that so that they don't get bad press. But it sucks that it's a thing that could happen.
Yeah. How many of you are rocking Windows 10 or whatever right now?
I have it on
Said you did.
one of my laptops, and it is pretty good. It's as someone who really did not like Windows 8 to the point where I put Windows 7 on it instead. Windows 10 does not have does not have a lot of the stuff that I did not like about Windows 8. Like the
Now,
first time
somebody
you
that
boot
likes
into it-
Windows 8 and me, like, would I still like Windows 10?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's basically, it takes away the stuff that was really in your face and confusing about Windows 8, like not being able to get to the desktop and having to like figure out different ways to get to things. You boot into the desktop the first time that you install Windows 10, you can you can still search from things from the taskbar. It feels very, very familiar. So like I wouldn't necessarily have an issue upgrading my mom to Windows 10 because I would have I know she would still be able to find the things that she's used to being able to find. Whereas with Windows 8, it was like, oh, great, I have to teach her how to use all the stupid tiles and like the new start screen and everything. They've kind of shuffled that stuff away to where you can use it if you want, but it doesn't force you to use it, which is definitely the way they should have done it in the first place. But so far, I think it's really good. Like Windows 10 looks like something I will actually upgrade to, especially because it's free. But it looks like there will be no reason not to upgrade to Windows 10 because there are a lot of under the hood improvements that are going to be worth having.
Okay. Alrighty.
So next, I don't
Some
know.
real exciting news. I mean, I would classify what you're about to
This
say,
is-
Brandon, as super exciting.
Yeah,
This news.
yeah. I mean, this is like if you can't tell, this is like a slightly slow news week.
I was just about to say the fact that this is the second story is wow. I honestly think I think the article that's underneath of this that we're going to discuss after should be ahead of this, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah. I should have.
It's
I
okay.
probably should have done some prioritization.
We
That's
can
all
finish
good.
up strong.
I
It's
might have
alright.
just kicked this one off the list, but
Yeah.
Infestation Survivor Stories.
Woo!
I'm just going to
Yeah.
tell you the title of this article.
Game
Infestation
of the year.
Survivor Stories / The War Z gets a reboot with Romero's Aftermath.
Woo!
Thank
Uh,
God.
This is great. This is, I mean, you know what? It's
I'm
this
In
excited.
game.
collaboration with
Survivor.
George Romero's son.
Not George Romero. They couldn't get him, but they got his son, man. And you know what, dude? It's gonna be great. It's it's good to see a franchise that has really, just not been given the benefit of the doubt, try to come back again. So super excited
Quote
about
from
it.
this article: developer Free Reign East calls it the spiritual successor to Infestation, yet it's technically a new IP due to the developer's separation from its partner company. Why would you want, like, if you already have a new IP and you're separated from the old company, why would you even refer to it as a spiritual successor to, like, have people put the association with your new game with this, like, awful, universally like maligned game in Infestation Survivor stories?
I like the fact that they got Romero's son. like they were like, listen, we need to attach someone legit, like it matters, like so that they can have the name Romero on it. Like anybody gives a fuck, like that's gonna change people's minds. Like, oh shit, Romero's son's involved. He's really a prodigy of horror, and he's gonna make a great game. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's so weird.
That's pretty bad.
It's
gonna be the exact same game.
Yeah,
the exact same game.
The video in that article too is just it's like not even like doesn't even look very good, and it's just this guy talking about what the game's gonna have.
New features, but I think it's all shit's already in the game.
There's a character standing there and not moving at all.
It's
like
literally there's no visual element to this at all. It's just a character standing there.
No movement. I thought they were gonna show like actual like gameplay. There's nothing. And you know that it's a real, like they're like definitely don't buy. They're like don't do pre-access unless you understand what an alpha is, which means we basically just got this thing running yesterday, and you're going to have an absolutely horrible, horrible experience. So don't pay for it. I mean, they basically tell you not to. And I agree with Dalesy too, is saying in the chat that zombies suck. I'm just over the zombie craze. Like, stop. I'm fucking done. There's enough. We've got DayZ. We've got H1Z1. We've got.
Oh yeah, that's actually. I want a battle royale on H1Z1 this week, and that shit is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
It's not fun 90% of the time because you just die and waste your money.
You just die right away.
When you get to that point where you're one of the last 10 or something, like it is so hype, so hype.
Yeah.
Well, hold your horses on not liking zombie games until our next the news story after this one.
Right, that's true. That's a good point.
The funny thing is, I hadn't read this article before we talked about it, but apparently, War Z players get free access to the Aftermath Alpha if they played at least 100 hours of War Z or spent at least $25.
Those poor souls.
That's gross.
I mean, wow. That's
what a deal. What a deal.
Those are the people. Those are the people you want feedback from. The people that played that game for that amount of time.
Yep. Listen, boys. You played 50 hours, spent $25, and to reward you, we're going to let you beta test our next piece of... alpha test our next piece of shit for free. What a deal. I don't know. Once again, I know that we're just shitting on it with sight unseen, or I am, but I just,
Well, here's the thing, though, is like, if you buy this early access, you really should just, like, you should know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Like, all of the signs are there. Just don't buy this game unless somehow you enjoyed the War Z.
Yeah.
And if you enjoyed the War Z, please reevaluate your life.
Yeah, if you enjoyed the War Z, you can lose my contact information, please. Yep. I don't want to talk to you. But yes, this next story is exciting. I don't unless there's any other opinions about this.
No. I don't think anyone has any more opinions.
Nope.
About
There
this.
are opinions to have.
I thought we were going to have a real in-depth discussion about the merits of this news, but okay, I guess not.
Well, so the next story here is Killing Floor 2. There's like a long, I guess like 16 minutes gameplay video from PC Gamer who got their hands on Killing Floor 2. So I'm not quite done with zombie games yet because Killing Floor 2 is something I've really been looking forward to.
Yeah, it is a zombie game, but I think of like I'm more thinking of like the survival games when I say zombie games. But yeah,
that's true. I mean, the survival genre is when it leans into survival and zombies.
Right.
There are definitely a lot of those out there right now.
We saw screenshots of what people were saying was Left 4 Dead 3 a while back with the Source 2 engine. I'm also looking forward to that. So it's like different. There's zombie games there's just so many different varieties.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like War Z, H1Z1, and DayZ are all the same thing. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Killing Floor 2 looks ridiculous. I watched some of the the gameplay that I guess PC Gamer put it up, right? It was PC Gamer.
Yeah.
It looks so good. The 200 FPS animations that they did for the slow-mo stuff looks incredible. This is definitely like I think I'm going to be sinking a lot of time in Killing Floor 2 and definitely playing with friends. It's
going to be a good extra life game.
Yeah, agreed.
Killing Floor wasn't one of those games that was on my radar, but I think it was 2 weeks ago that we played it on our Friday night stream, and that was the first time I actually really got into the game, because with how the leveling system up is in that game, it was very daunting to play it by myself because you have to really grind it out.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're going to be making that a lot, I wouldn't say easier, but a lot more accessible to level up the different classes and stuff.
Yeah, that
definitely.
was the one bad, I guess, kind of a bad thing with Killing Floor is that the leveling up those classes was kind of a pain, especially like getting to the top levels took forever.
They admit that in the video. They talk about what an insane grind it was and how they basically changed that a ton this time around. So
it looks a lot
I'm happy about that.
A lot more customizable and definitely a lot more friendly. Not even like newbie or casual friendly, just like friendly to people that aren't grinding out that stuff in the game.
Exactly. If you're not Tomb, who's had tons and tons of hours, and like whenever we'd play with Tomb, he had like a top level like character. I was like, Jesus, Tomb, how much did you play? He's like, I played a lot of it. I was like, yes, you did, Tomb.
I mean, like a top level of any class can just like wreck the game.
Yeah, it's pretty nutty.
The difference between the top level and like the first two, I mean, the difference in your power is just crazy.
The other thing that they talk about in the video, I didn't watch all of it, but I was just kind of skipping around. Is that with the classes, when you choose your class, you start with a specialized weapon in your class, which is obviously different than the first game, where you just start, because you only have a certain amount of money, right? You all start with a pistol at the beginning of the round. This time, you actually start with your specialized weapon, which is kind of cool. So you have two.
Cool, yeah.
So, and that they said that you basically, they made the first wave also a little bit more, a little bit harder and stuff like that too. So it's not as kind of like a throwaway round.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I mean, as good as Killing Floor was, there were some things that that were kind of annoying. Like the first few rounds, complete throwaway rounds, and then you end up. There are some rounds where, like toward the end, you just get annihilated. Like you do great that one round, and then all of a sudden you just get completely dominated. So that difficulty curve, like maybe being a little more gradual. And being a little harder from the beginning, like all of that stuff, and they've had so much time to look into fixing all of that. I mean, Killing Floor came out in what, 2009, I think.
I think you're right.
It was a while ago,
a long time ago.
Wow. Yeah.
So I mean, they've had a lot of time to look into the issues that the community has with that first game, because there are still people playing it to this day.
In Killing Floor 1, when you were a higher level, you started with a better weapon. Okay, see, like a perfect example of me never ever breaking to the higher level and never getting there. So, I never even knew that. But now I think it doesn't matter what. I think even starting from your low rank, you get a weapon, which is cool.
Well, this will be. I mean, Killing Floor. I felt like I got into Killing Floor late because I don't think I started playing it until like maybe 2011, 2012.
Same.
And I mean, so that game had been out a while before I played it. And I mean, there are still people that discover Killing Floor today, and it's still a great game.
It is really good.
This is one game that I will absolutely buy when it first comes out. But the great thing is, I'm sure just knowing the first game and knowing the way that they market these games on Steam, I'm sure that Killing Floor 2, within the first year of its existence, you'll see it down at like $5.
Yeah,
they just they want to get it in everyone's hands.
I also feel like it's good. I feel like the player base is gonna be a lot bigger now too with the second game. It's died. Obviously, it's died down some since we got into it a little bit late. And also the other thing too that was cool about Killing Floor, which I'm sure they'll keep up with this, was that they were on top of like the different holiday events and community. Always integrating other games and Valve stuff into their into their universe and other games into their universe. And that was really cool.
Like a small developer, they're one of the only developers I feel like really does that. I mean, like Valve does it, League of Legends does it, Blizzard does it, but in terms of like smaller studios, they do a Halloween update, a Christmas update, all of that, which I mean, I just
the
love
Halloween
that.
updates are always so good from what I've seen. I never played them, but from what I've seen of them, they're so good.
Yeah, I mean, all of their updates are really good. So I really like Tripwire a lot, just from like their community support perspective. So I'm more than happy to buy Killing Floor 2 upon release. I just need it like right now.
Do we know how big their company is? Because the fact that they do all that holiday shit is pretty incredible, given their size.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know how big.
I have no idea offhand.
I don't know, but I guarantee you they'll probably get bigger after killing Floor 2.
Yeah, I would think. And I just think that's a great game. Also, too, just obviously as a streamer, I think that's going to be. I mean, that's always a fun game to stream whenever we do it for Extra Life and stuff like that. But the teamwork and all that stuff, and the shit that just goes down in
It's
Killing
one of the
Floor
most
is really
fun
fun
games to play with friends.
with
I
friends.
mean, it's not a
absolutely.
great game to play on
Yeah.
your own, but with
No.
friends, it is one of the most fun games.
Yep, absolutely, for sure.
So next up on the list, our last news item here is some new Witcher 3 details, which I hadn't even looked through all of these, but the only thing that I saw blow up on social media the other day is
Yeah.
real-time beard growth.
Yes,
That's all that matters. I can't grow a beard in real life, so this will make me happy.
You'll live vicariously through your character.
Exactly.
Look,
Having to
as
shave
a guy who kind of grew a beard recently, I feel like that's really gonna help Garrett. Like people, just the respect you get when you have like a little bit of whiskers going on.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Nice.
the notes here say, Geralt's beard will grow.
Geralt.
You have to go to a barber after a few days.
Or if you don't,
Do you
I guess
have
you grow.
to, or
Like, why do you
just
have to?
about it?
Yeah. I'm assuming that you can just grow a beard.
You probably
like.
can. You
Yeah.
probably can.
Yeah. That's a game. The Witcher is another game where it's like I know that it's like incredible, and I played some of the first one and some of the second, but I never stuck with it. Is it in the same? I mean, it's an RPG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has like solid combat.
But it has,
it's
but the
really
combat,
good.
yeah. Maybe I'll try with The Witcher 3 then.
It's
Give it more of a
there
chance.
is a mod
It's
like
been-
with Witcher 2 if you want to try it again, Scott. The
Yeah.
developers released a mod to make the combat a little bit more intuitive because the combat was really hard to get into with Witcher 1 and 2. Whereas you had like these little sigils that you had, but you didn't know what they did until you actually used them. They had these weird ass names that unless you
Yeah, it was like it was really hard to remember like what because the one for fire, it was like just a fire spell, and rather than call it fireball, it was like
yeah.
co-whirl or something. It's like fucking
yeah, it
like
was some weird ass language.
Bean
But
burrito. Like
the developers actually
Make it
released a
fucking
mod
sense.
that makes it a lot easier to actually do the combat and stuff. It doesn't make it like an easier game, but it makes it easier to understand the combat. So I tried it out a little bit. It actually works out really well compared to how it was.
I think
Cool.
the summary of these notes here is that they're clearly focusing on details, some even perhaps too much.
Yeah.
But hey, it's I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful game, and these notes talk about like adding NVIDIA like Hairworks and stuff. Like I think it's gonna look amazing. I mean, if you have a high-end PC, I think this is just going to be the new benchmark for testing out your tri-SLI setups and craziness like that.
The thing I'm a little concerned about is, I mean, they are getting into the minutia, right, of the game with the beard growth stuff, but I have heard not one single thing from the developer as to if the fish will swim away when you get close to them. And, and I don't want to...
it's concerning. This close to launch, it's concerning.
It is.
Well,
I mean,
they
Call
do
of Duty
mention
already
here,
did it.
They do
so.
mention here that there are horse races,
Okay.
and there's a focus
Whoa.
on stamina management,
Ooh.
and you can even buy better saddles for the horse races. So you know what? I think you will probably be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I'll have faith then.
given details like that.
And knowing this game, the fish will swim up to you and kick your ass. They won't swim
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Yes, they will.
Aggressive fish. Yeah. Damn. Okay.
So apparently there are no new releases this week. Dan normally puts those in, but
there were literally none. They don't.
guess.
If they're not in our doc, no games.
I
came
mean,
out,
yeah, nothing notable, or I guess we're just gonna skip over something that is notable.
I like that
because
there's
there's
no
nothing in
games,
here.
but we took the time to discuss the fucking Infestation Survivor Stories reboot. We're like, nah, there's no games, nothing of note.
Sacrifices. We have to make them.
It's all right. Okay. All right.
So we are gonna take a quick 2-minute commercial break, and then we will come back to the viewer questions. So stick around.
Don't touch that mouse. I don't know. I don't know what I did.
I'd like to announce my retirement from the KBMOD podcast.
You're officially retired.
I'm done. Washing my hands of the situation.
That was it. That was the thing that pushed you over the edge.
that was the straw.
Okay.
Broke the raccoon's back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the catalyst for that.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not actually. I've been planning this for a long time.
Months of planning. Years of planning. Months of execution.
Someone in chat being a real smart ass. No, I wanted a long 2-minute commercial break instead of a short 2-minute. Spancaster.
Hilarious.
I love jokes.
I'll duff out your non, man. Whatever that means.
Tough out your
Damn.
I'll duff out your non.
I think it's nan, and nan is like a
Naan is an Indian bread. God, oh man, I really want Indian food right now. I said naan. Fuck.
dude. Yeah, some naan with like
some
curry
nice
on it.
Curry? Oh,
Yeah, some
God.
curry and rice and chicken masala, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's
chicken
called.
masala.
Does that sound right?
Scott,
that-
that's a nice plaid shirt you're wearing. Does it come in men's?
I saw Anion. That's a good one. That come in men's meme is not
Come in men's.
Where did that even start? You know what? I know I'm behind on like Twitch culture when I have to go like in the Ultra stream. One of the things was people were like, "Joel, get on Skype," and so I
We're
kind
gonna
of
go to Applebee's. Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
Where did that come from?
Somebody was saying random shit in chat, and I thought
In the
we thought it
chat?
was fucking hilarious.
Like trying to talk to their kid or whatever. Like
Yeah.
get it across. Okay, and then everybody.
That's
But
like one of my
that's what's so
favorite new
funny.
memes.
Yeah. But I didn't know what the origin was, and then I just figured out that it must have been just somebody just saying, "Joel, get on Skype. We're gonna go to Applebee's," and then everyone will just start doing it. So one person types Joel in the Ultra chat, and it's still like it's slow mode, and people will just use their slow mode to type, "Joel, be at Applebee's at 5 p.m. if you can read this," and stuff like that. Oh, it kills me. It fucking kills me.
How many Joels do you think went to Applebee's because of
I don't.
that?
Yeah, because they saw that. I don't know.
All right,
Joel,
we
get on
are-
Skype came from Shroud Stream. See, I don't even know.
We are back from commercial, and we are discussing chat memes,
Yes, we were.
scheduling dinner plans in a chat of 150,000 people.
Well, I'm not the common men's joke is from an Easy Money Karate Day. Yes, but I'm talking about who on Twitch started, pushing that. Who started using that. That's what I want to know. I think there needs to be a website of somebody who's an avid Twitch, watcher who documents where the origins of the memes start. You know what I mean? Like know your meme.
Like know
There
your
needs to be a
meme for
Twitch. There needs
Twitch.
to be for Twitch. Yeah.
Specifically Twitch. Yeah.
Well, if anyone's gonna start it, it'll probably be someone in this room right now.
That's true.
Someone in this cast.
Yeah.
So our first question comes from Fat Attack. He's asking, if you were eligible, would you go on the Mars 1 mission? And then he links to the conditions of humankind on
No!
Mars.
The easiest. Absolutely not. Hell no. But let's see. What the doc says. Okay. Will astronauts come back? That's a pretty big one. Not how is this possible? They have the order wrong. Will the astronauts come back should be the first thing. How is this possible could be somewhere down in number 5. Like that. But I want to be able to come back if I was going to go to Mars.
Well, the thing is,
Well-
that's like a several-year trip just to
No,
go
I
there,
know.
right?
I know. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I would go just because you're not coming back.
No.
So
You're going to basically build up Mars is what you're going for. For life, for people down the road that actually can enjoy it. You won't enjoy anything about this.
No, it's gonna suck.
At
There's
all.
no Wi-Fi. There's no Applebee's out there. Fuck that shit.
I mean, think what your life would be like on fucking as one of the first persons, people on Mars. Like it would be. You're right. It would be horrible.
yeah, I mean,
It'd be
you're
absolutely
paving
perfect.
the way for what will eventually perhaps be an amazing society on another planet. But you're never coming back. You're not going to enjoy the comforts that you know from your current life. You'll be written into history books, but you're basically devoting the rest of your life
Yeah.
to that mission.
Your
you know
name is
what?
going to be on a
You don't like it?
plaque
Too bad.
in that first building. That's it.
Listen.
No one else will remember you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. That's what I was just about to get to. I was going to be like, you're doing this right, and as soon as you're dead, and I know this is really morbid, but I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, as soon as you die, nobody gives a fuck anymore. Sure, there's people that give a fuck. There's certain amounts of time, depending on how either famous you were or how much you meant to people, that will remember a little bit longer. But then in a year, even Michael Jackson is forgotten. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's just like
You're gonna be
so if you're
in a
gonna
paragraph in a history book.
That's
That's
it.
it.
and then kids are gonna go, oh,
You
I've
might
never
be the
heard of this
answer on a
fucking guy.
multiple choice question.
Maybe that's true. That's your best bet. That's
the
like
best- that's the
if
best you
you've
can
made
do.
it. If you've made it, you're on the SAT as a multiple choice question. That's
Look,
about it.
All I'm saying is like you're gonna romanticize it in your head. You're gonna talk yourself up in your head about what a noble fucking deed you're doing, how you're gonna make history, and then you're gonna get on that fucking shuttle and realize that there's somebody on there that you hate. You're gonna sit down and you're like, you turn your eye, you're like, oh, so what do you think about going to Mars? He's like, hi, I'm Guy Fieri. Like, fuck. And that's like one of 30 people you get to interact with for the rest of your life. You idiot.
Yeah.
You know that's gonna happen.
And I'm glad that there are people that are much more selfless than all of us, right, on the podcast and do things, right, for the furtherment of science and all that kind of stuff. I'm just, you know what, listen, man, I'm just trying to get mine, you know, in this life. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly straight about it. And so, you know, and I also want to be a good person and help other people as much as I can within the relative comforts of my own life. And getting in a fucking spaceship and going to Mars and basically sitting around until the end of my days, I don't know, trying to like jerk off on fucking Mars. I mean, probably, I don't know what the gravity is, how close it is to space. It makes it better, of course.
How close it is to space? Because you are in space if you're in Mars.
Not space, I'm saying how
your
close
mind is not even at like the fact that you won't see your family ever again or whatever. You're concerned about like your day-to-day living.
Like, you can't even, if you're at Mars, you're strapped probably, like, they're monitoring all your bodily functions. It's like, oh, he just jerked off again for the 4th time today. It's like, that's all he does.
They all
but then
know,
I'd be like, Mission Control, what do you want me to do?
Got
I'm jerking off
all over your dick.
Yeah, I made a female-looking specimen out of a bunch of fucking plastic cups, and I jerked off to it because there's literally nothing to do here.
Well, they have here on the site, you will write reports about your experiences on Mars. Do you like the sunset on Mars? What's your favorite food that you'll never have ever again because you're on fucking Mars?
That's true, and you have to document everything.
Like, I mean, you think it's hard to get a good pizza out here in San Francisco? Fuck. You're gonna be eating like spaceman ice cream for the rest of your life.
There's no
Dippin' Dots.
There's no E24 for Mars. You're fucked.
No,
you're done.
Everything about that. Like, kudos to the people who have either that much of a passion for exploring and colonizing space or that little of a reason to live on Earth. But, like, great for them. But for the average person, that makes no fucking sense. There's a reason they're only going to send a couple of people the first time.
Right. And actually, I'm even starting to turn on
see if they survive.
Like, what are you fucking idiots doing? Like, just don't do it, man. It's not worth it, man. We don't have to go to Mars right away. I mean, people are in the chat are like, they'll probably colonize Mars more, you know, before other people. But there has to be people that go there. Colonize, yeah. They'll colonize Mars. But there still have to be people that go there first still. Like, there just has to
let me just read to you an excerpt of the Journey to Mars paragraph on this page. The astronauts will spend the 7 months, so this is talking about the flight, the astronauts will spend 7 months together in a very small space, much smaller than the home base at the settlement on Mars, devoid of luxury or frills. This will not be easy. Showering with water will not be an option.
Oh, dear God.
Instead, the astronauts make do with wet towelettes, as used by astronauts on the International Space Station. Freeze-dried and canned food is the only option. There will be constant noise from the ventilators, computer, and life support systems, and a regimented routine of 3 hours daily exercise in order to maintain muscle mass.
Can we just take like a dirt bath and
read the next
piss on each other or something?
If the astronauts are hit by a solar storm, they must take refuge in the even smaller sheltered area of the rocket, which provides the best protection for up to several days. The journey will be arduous, pressing each of them to the very limits of their training and personal capacity, but the astronauts will endure because this will be the flight carrying them to their dream.
Way to cherry on top of that pile.
Wow,
of shit.
what a shit pile, and then be like,
place a nice maraschino cherry on top of that fucking turd.
If after all of that you still can look into space and look towards Mars and go, you know what, but it's my dream, then God bless you. Not only are you fucking out of your mind, and I'm glad you're going to Mars to fucking do whatever with it, you know, just get off of my planet. I don't want you here because you're nuts. You have to be insane.
I feel like it definitely takes a special type of person that has like that lifelong dream that they are willing to give up everything else for what like otherwise sounds like a horrible
really
experience.
Rough experience. And I don't want to be that guy that goes like, what did we really get out of being in space? Like, what have we really I mean, other than obviously like, okay, actually, I'm not going to go there. There's a lot that we actually garnered with being able to see like way further into space. No, I don't, because I know people are going to be like, I'm going to be like a space denier, and I'm just like, dude, like, there's no point, man. They killed the NASA program for a good reason. Like, no one cares.
The truth is out there, man.
Yeah. Oh God.
There's no chance I would ever do this.
Yeah, no. There's no.
100%.
No.
There's
I'd
no.
go into space though, like in a rocket and fly around orbit, and then like come back or something. I'd
It
do
would be
that.
cool. Yeah.
If I'm
but not
guaranteed to
to
come
Mars.
back, I'll do anything in space. Just because
The thing is,
fucking awesome.
it still feels relatively risky to go in space at all. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to. I mean, what am I gonna like? Really, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna like snap a picture from the space station and be like, "Hey, cool,"
Yeah.
you know, probably get some retweets.
Listen, I don't even have to. I don't even have
Pretty
to be in
much.
space to
Just
simulate.
favorites.
I'll just go in one of the planes, that where they just basically go into a dive, and I can experience, 0 G's or not. Yeah, basically no gravity.
Yeah.
Like I can do that. I don't have to go to space for it, even though the view would be fantastic. But I've already seen fucking, so many. I've seen Apollo 13. I've seen, the latest. I've seen Interstellar. I've been there. I've lived it. I don't need to actually do it. Yeah, that's crazy. I love that they say. Like, I love that they have a cherry on top of that shit Sunday, like Blas said. That's fantastic. They really try to sell it.
At least they're not sugarcoating it, really. They're like, here
Yeah,
are
no,
the
they're like-
terrible conditions you will live in.
Yeah,
But
it's-
the big payoff is that you get there.
Yeah.
To be honest, when I think of space, I think of Bruce Willis and Armageddon. I
Yeah.
think of
That triggers it. Yeah. That movie's pretty fucking terrible, isn't it? God.
awful.
I used to think it was good when I was
Greatest
like real
movie
young.
of all time. Except,
So
I mean,
bad.
no, it sucks, but it's really good.
It's
really-
got Aerosmith on the soundtrack.
It does.
It's one of those enjoyably bad movies. Still good to watch. Check it out.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, next
Well,
question.
that question really. I didn't expect it to go that long, but good question. I guess.
Yeah,
Who was that?
a
Fat
good question.
Attack?
Yeah,
Well
Fat
done.
Attack occasionally
Fat
with,
Attack.
with a decent question, surprisingly.
I'm just kidding, Fat Attack.
Next question, I just included because Tim is on, and we might as well have him contribute something.
Yeah.
Thanks.
From Def Not
Yeah.
Jake on Twitter. Where did you come up with the name Stafunoob? Is that the proper way to pronounce your name?
Stafunoob.
I don't know.
I feel like it's pretty fucking self-explanatory.
So it came from my name in WoW used to just be straight STFU Noob. That's what it used to be. And
Oh,
after
that's really nice.
God, you're so
I know,
fucking
right?
edgy,
And-
dude.
and
I
be-
was like 14 when I made that name. I was the coolest shit out there.
And because apparently
Oh.
we need to explain the obvious, STFU stands for shut the fuck up, and
I
noob
know.
is a new player of the game. Sometimes short for newbie.
But
Fucking
so,
idiot, Drake.
So after me and my friends being assholes ganking in Arathi base, and some kid reported me, rightfully so, for the name, and the Blizzard admins made me change it, so I threw an A in there, and that it stuck, and they never made me change after that. So
Good job, Liz.
that's kind of where it's been,
There you go.
and that's the origin of it.
That's a great story.
I know, right?
Please, can you tell it again one more time, please?
So I was
But a little more monotone than you told it last time. Actually, I mean that actually is a. I would say though, as like the origin, because as the origins of names go, that's actually a good story that he actually Riot made him change it, and that's what it stuck.
right.
I don't think my name's or Riot.
Riot, the
Sorry.
the stewards of World of
The
Warcraft.
stewards of World of Warcraft. I forgot. Yeah, Riot made.
Yeah, no, it is funny though, because there are so many. It's funny you see so many people, especially in a game like WoW, where they don't like they can't come up with a name that like fits a fantasy
Yeah.
character or something, and so they just you want to get in the game and you don't want to spend your whole day coming up with a name, so they just come up with like some name that they don't care about, and then they meet all these people and they become involved in online communities, and then now that becomes your name
and then it sticks.
for like the
Yep.
rest of your
Exactly.
internet life.
My character's name in Final Fantasy XIV is Totino's Pizza Rolls.
Yeah.
That's a pretty great name.
That's a pretty good one.
That's self-explanatory though,
Yeah.
because they're delicious.
So is Stafunoob.
No, I was totally in the dark until he explained it, so I'm glad he did.
Well, there's a decent story behind it.
There is.
It's not bad.
As origin names go for gaming, that's not a. I give it a solid 8.5
Thanks, IGN.
out of 100.
7.8 out of 10. Too much.
Next question from @Mr. J
question.
Dyer. The question, as written, is Pepsi okay?
Yeah,
That's
why
it?
not?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
I'll take
just
Pepsi.
okay.
Given the phrasing, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. Pepsi is okay.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
I haven't had soda or since the new year, so
Are you swear it off for the new year? Or what?
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't had one yet.
I mean, yeah.
Doing
The
well.
thing is, like, if I were gonna drink soda, I don't drink a ton of soda these days. But when I do, I mean, I'm not gonna drink a Pepsi.
You're gonna get a Mountain Dew.
But, well, yeah, Pepsi has so many products that's actually kind of an ambiguous question.
Yeah,
I assume
they
he's
have a
talking
lot.
about like Pepsi
Oh
Classic.
shit! Now you're kind of bringing it
Pepsi
out.
Blue.
Delight.
Oh, Pepsi Blue. God bless it. Hell yeah. I don't like honestly. I'm if I'm gonna
Wild Cherry
drink a
Pepsi is not bad.
no, it isn't. I like. I honestly, I'm one of those people that if I go and if I'm going to drink a soda, I will, and I'm going to drink like a cola, I will. It depends on my mood. Sometimes I will drink Coke and sometimes I'll drink Pepsi. It could be a 50-50 for me. Not, I like. It really is. I would
feel
say
like,
I probably,
hold on,
that's
hold on,
interesting.
because I feel like
I probably lean towards
feel
Coke
like
more. But I will.
I feel like he wanted us to go here.
He did.
He wanted
did.
us to go to the Coke versus Pepsi debate,
He did.
but we can avoid it.
I don't want to avoid it. I
You don't
would
wanna
love to.
avoid
Pepsi's
it?
just okay, and that's that.
Like
I don't-
Pepsi is okay, but if you're saying you're going to take a Pepsi over an ice cold Coca-Cola, get out.
Okay.
I would say that. I would say.
Ice
okay,
cold
I would say.
Coca-Cola TM, please.
I wouldn't say yes, yeah. I wouldn't say maybe 50% is incorrect. I would say maybe it's like 70-30. That's probably more accurate. Sometimes I'll
Like,
get a
what
Pepsi.
mood do you have to be in to
I don't
want an
know.
inferior cola?
I don't know. Maybe I'm having my period or something, and I'm like, for some reason, I want to have Pepsi today. I don't know. It happens though. It happened the other day. I was at 7-Eleven, and I could have gotten a Pepsi or I could have gotten a Coke, and I just found myself drinking Pepsi, and I was like, yeah, I'm happy
See,
with this
I
decision.
think the
Did
only
you
time-
enjoy that disgusting taste in your mouth afterwards, and how your
No.
mouth felt? Because it's like a weird film that goes over your mouth, like you're some sort of
I
alien.
could, I
Does
could
it?
have
Does
accepted
it?
your answer if you said
Tim,
that,
I've been
like,
jerking
you,
off in your Pepsis.
if you said that you go to, like, you frequent a restaurant that doesn't serve
Yeah.
Coca-Cola products,
Well,
then I could have accepted your
yeah.
answer. But you see, like, you went to
I
an
did.
establishment that
I
has
did.
like hundreds of sodas
Of options, yeah.
and you chose a regular Pepsi as the option that you would
I
walk out of
did.
that store with.
I did. Yeah, this week it happens.
I mean,
You think
they
you know
are
someone.
they are just objectively two different flavors of
They are
cola.
different.
But Coke is slightly vanilla flavored, while Pepsi is slightly lemon flavored. That's actually true.
That is
Um,
actually, now that you're saying that, I can see it.
I love me a
Tastes
vanilla
good.
Coke though. I like Coke. Yeah.
So
I don't know.
do you ever mix drinks with Pepsi?
No. What do you mean mix?
Oh, it's so worse. It's so much worse.
Oh,
than
you mean
mixing
like
Pepsi.
with liquor? Oh, yeah, no, absolutely not. Pepsi's too sweet to do that. Pepsi's, I feel like, is a sweeter, less. It's hard to describe. I mean, obviously they're different. They have very different tastes, but I don't know. No, I would never mix
I
anything with
definitely would
Pepsi.
not mix it.
No, absolutely not.
But I mean, Pepsi
Um,
makes a lot of good products.
But this goes back to I had a rant. I had a rant about a waitress, right? Who goes, is Pepsi okay, or we only have Pepsi products or something? I remember.
maybe,
I have
that's what
And
he
that's
meant.
still
by
like
this
the
question.
dumbest complaint.
Maybe
that's not her
Maybe
fault.
that's what the context of this question
no.
was
It's
supposed
not
to
a dumb
be.
complaint. Do not trigger me. We don't have time for this.
ridiculous.
We don't have time for this, blah. It is
Also-
not ridiculous. It's how it's
also,
presented.
I will say that any argument of Pepsi potentially being superior goes completely out the fucking window when you take Mexican Coke into account.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
for sure. With real cane sugar and shit. Yeah, there's no.
Oh yeah, so much better.
Especially if
Agreed.
like if you look at some of Pepsi's other products, some of them are fine. Like, I think they own Mountain Dew, right?
You know what though? But see, I used to. So when I lived in one of the exports of the country, the very poor country that I was in, is that they would bottle. It was all glass bottles. Same thing. They have cane sugar. I had Pepsi with real cane sugar as well, just like Coke, and they would have both different. And Pepsi with real cane sugar is like exceptionally good. So maybe that's where it stemmed from as well, because maybe that's where my love of, or at least thinking that they're at least similar levels for me. Maybe that's where it stemmed from.
I don't know. It's hard
I
for
don't
me
know.
to. It's hard for me to want to support Pepsi when they own Mug Root Beer, which is
Oh, mug root
objectively,
beer is
objectively the worst
It's horrible.
root beer.
How does that exist anymore?
Barks
the
is solid.
worst.
It's a
No,
solid.
that's like
Marx is-
the
Marx is fine.
crazy thing is that you have Coke and Pepsi, and those are like right. We can disagree about which one's better. Like
Yeah.
Coke is better, but Coke and Pepsi at least taste like somewhat similar. They're not
Yeah.
completely different. Like
They're
you
comparable.
look at Barks and Mug.
We can all unite that mug root
Two
beer
different
is
drinks.
fucking it's
It's literally like
I don't like
it's-
any root beer. I'm fucking weird, I guess.
It's literally like Mug versus like any other root beer. Is like Barks is normally what it's going to compare to. That's literally like Captain Crunch versus like the bag of like Captain Treasures, like
Yeah.
like cereal spheres. Like no,
I like that shit. I used to always get generic cereal.
No, generic
You
cereal
can get
is
like
so
the
much worse.
huge but you can get the huge 12-pound bags of
I
it.
feel like that's disrespectful to generic cereal to compare it to.
Oh yeah, it's bad, man. It's like a fudge sundae versus a rotting pile of shit.
Barks has more of a bite to it. Mug root beer, it's like drinking tepid sewage. It's horrible.
Basically,
It's like,
yeah.
And like talk about the
It's
filament.
awful.
Like I'm trying to remember. It's just like a repressed memory that I recently had Mug's root beer. Oh, you know what it was? I went to a place that only had Pepsi products, and for some reason I wanted root beer from the and so I got Mug. This was like a couple weeks ago. Okay, yeah, it was from a chain called To Go's, which is like a sandwich chain, which is pretty decent.
We have one of those right by my house. I haven't been there yet.
They're good, yeah, it's good. Much better, like, definitely step up from, like, a Subway or anything like that. Pretty solid. Anyway, so I got Mug from there, and there is, like, the foam itself is, like, it's, like, acidic or something. It's disgusting. I was, like, I didn't even get through it. I didn't even drink the rest of it, and I was like, I don't remember, like, I think I've forgotten that Mug is so terrible. But, yeah, you're so right.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
They need to overhaul that brand. It's so bad.
Or just kill it off.
Well, like, no, I mean, Pepsi needs, like, a Hallmark root beer brand, clearly. But Mug is not it.
Yeah, Mug just needs to. I mean, also people are talking about A&W. I mean, I don't ever see A&W as far as like.
I actually don't like A&W that much either. Like,
No, A&W sucks.
I think A&W
very
like
good.
A&W exists solely off of their legacy. It's not a
for
great
sure.
product.
Don't they have like A&W restaurants? Like I've seen that
do.
when I was driving
Yeah,
on the
There
road.
is one. There is one here near where I live. It's a A&W Long John Silver mashup,
Yeah, we have this. Yeah.
and it's
What a
awful.
fucking horrible combination.
It's
Long
awful.
John
It's fucking awful.
Long John
I like
Silver's-
Long John Silver's. Am I weird? for
Really?
that?
No. The thing is, I actually like Long John Silver's, but I almost feel like I love seafood. So I mean, and I have pretty low standards for food anyway. Like I can definitely understand why someone wouldn't like Long John Silver's.
Long John Silver's. I'm
It's
sorry.
fast
if we're
seafood. How do you
driving-
trust that?
I'm not proud of liking Long John Silver's.
Like I just extrapolate. I'm like, if I'm eating already at a fast food place, like I already know the quality's gonna be shitty. Add seafood to that, I am not touching that. Like, hey man, would you like this fucking like 700 pieces of shrimp for $2? It's like there's no way that's safe. It can't be safe. Like they had
if you start questioning where they're sourcing it from, you have already gone awry.
you're in too deep.
There's no recovering from that.
Their
I
house
don't
puppies
even
are
know-
legit though.
Like
Puppies are great.
I don't even think I've seen like a Long John Silver's.
Yeah, they're
The last time I've seen them, I can't tell you.
they're not very common these days. I feel like
No.
they used to be really common. I feel like I used to see TV commercials for them.
I think
and-
people
and-
just
I've
were
only
like,
ever
"What
seen
the
them in
fuck is
airports."
this? This is fast food seafood for dirt cheap prices. This can't be right." I think people are waking up, man.
That's a great business model. I mean, I'm surprised there are
It-
not more fast food, like seafood type places.
See, I don't think as many people. I don't think like the American palate. I don't think the American palate is like people like seafood. Or
I don't think it's right.
people always go like, "Oh, I don't really like fish." I feel like that's the American attitude towards fish, or a lot of people that I know.
Unless you live in key areas that actually have
Right. Well,
good
unless
fish.
you live like on the coast or something, or has good fishing. But
I don't know. I could go for fast food seafood.
Hmm.
I would actually go for some Long John Silver's right now.
you're just
I'm
thinking
being
about it.
honest.
Like, oh, man.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right, that was a decent question. I like the kind of mystery and intrigue around. It was a short question. Not
Yeah,
really
it's-
sure
But
exactly
it
where
causes
he.
a lot of chatter.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. Last question from @JoshMJBryan on Twitter. He asks, if you could choose the categories on Jeopardy, what would you choose? I'd go for potent
How many-
potables.
I think there's 6 categories, so we can do like a group
Yeah.
one, and then we all can get one additional. Is it 6?
I don't know.
Yes. Let me look it up. Where did the Jeopardy category?
Now, see, I don't know if he's. Here's.
Or he wants us to make up categories.
Yeah,
What's-
again, this is this is a good question because you don't exactly know the intent.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's saying you have to pick categories that already exist on Jeopardy, and which ones would you answer?
Because
Or
that
is he-
changes, doesn't it? The categories change depending on the show.
They
doesn't it?
do. They do change. But like they have some. I mean, they have some that I think are like recurring
Some back,
themes.
yeah.
But I don't know if he's then saying if he's also could be saying if you could create a category, like what would you create?
I would
as a
love
category
like
on Jeopardy?
a Twitch themed Jeopardy show, right? Where it was like
Jeoparino
emotes.
from Amos, bro.
Jeopardy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure
Amos
out.
does
like,
a show called Jeoparino about. It's like a Hearthstone Jeopardy. It's really good.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, there you go. People are already way ahead.
Guess the celebrity based on this haiku about their penis.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty long Jeopardy. Like that, I don't even know if that would fit on the tile.
It would have to have a better. I mean, it would have like a nice little like haiku-based pun name, but then Alex Trebek would have to elaborate on what that category actually is. It could be
Celebrity
like
penis haiku.
Haiku Noon. That one's
I'll
pretty
take-
bad. I can do better.
I'll take Twitch memes for 400. Yeah, see, that's the world I want to live.
I would go. I would create a category that would be around like notable, like the best memes of of different times, and the category would be called Top Keck.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's a good one. Damn, you guys are thinking of good ones. I can't think of any.
I like that one. Solid.
As Sucked On by Scott Fisher. What's the category? Jesus. No pants, you son of a bitch. Okay. Well, those were some good ones you guys had there.
Steam Greenlight Games would be mine.
God.
Would you have to like guess the game, like the game based on the
Based on the
screenshot or
description.
something, or the
Based on the
description?
description, yes.
Yeah.
Nothing, Scott.
No, I'm just taking them from the chat. APL Nightbot commands for 800, please, because I have 300 commands, I think, at this point in my
Dear
Nightbot.
God.
So it's pretty insane.
Okay.
That could be pretty hard to do.
All right. Well, you have all failed at this question.
I didn't. Mine was great.
Yeah, they had some good ones. I'm the only one who didn't really give an answer. I'm just stealing from chat right now. So.
Do you like anime for 800? It's just like I like that one. From Mintberry Crunch from chat contributed that one, and I feel like it would be something along the lines of just like, all right, Scott Fisher, do you for 800? Do you like anime? And he's like, no. It's like, ah! Yeah, every time.
Oh man.
You could pick the same one and then choose the other yes or no answer and still be wrong.
And then he would actually just get onto you for not answering in the form of a question.
Yeah.
What is no?
What is yes?
All right.
All right.
Well, that's
Well, that's
those are some good questions.
Some questions this week.
If you'd like to have a question answered on the cast, we call out for them every Sunday, sometime before the cast starts. So you can send in questions anytime, but that's the best time for us to pick it up. And you can tweet at us at KBMOD Gaming, or you can send questions to community@kbmod.com to have your stuff right on the show. So, entering the end of the show here, we are on iTunes. As some of you, I mean, if you're listening to this, you probably already know that, but if you're watching it live, you might not. So it's very important that we have very high ratings on iTunes and become a more popular podcast. And really, like, the goal is to become the face of gaming podcasts, and we'll accept no less.
That is our dream.
So every week we ask people to go on iTunes and give us 5 stars, and let us know which member of the Hodes family you are.
I love that everybody is assumed to be a member of the Hodes family.
Well,
if they're listening, yeah.
We all are, in a way. Those names generally start with C, but I mean, I've seen people of the Hodes family that don't start with the letter C in their first name, but it's just uncommon. But anyway, so you go on iTunes, you give us 5 stars, and then you can leave some kind of comment. You can leave feedback, criticism, even if you hate the show. That's fine, as long as you give 5 stars. You can destroy us in the actual content of the review. That's up to you. But anyway, if you do leave us a review, you might get featured here at the end of the cast. And we actually have a double review this week, just because we have a guest. So, Scott, would you like to read our featured iTunes reviews of the week?
Sure. So our featured review, there's 2. This one comes in from Dr. Craig Hodes, who it's always good to see him.
Nice
And
to
he
have a
says,
physician in
doctor
the
of the
community.
family.
Yeah, and that brings a lot of that brings a lot of credibility to the cast to have a doctor listening. And Dr. Craig Hodes said, after spending an extraordinary amount of time perusing the offerings of this podcast, I have deduced that their insightful philosophies and viewpoints, as well as their dank memes, are second to none. So, I mean, that's coming from a doctor.
Solid.
So I don't know what, I mean...
It holds water.
Yeah. Water? Holds weight?
Water.
We should
Yeah,
just
I
use
think
that
about
as like
that.
a testimonial on the
That
podcast
should be.
itself.
Can we maybe we could contact Craig Hodes and maybe he'll do a little soundbite for us in his like Doctor Voice.
Yeah.
And we play it at the beginning of the cast.
Yeah, it's just like something like, I recommend all my patients the KBMOD podcast.
No matter what.
People come in with all kinds of ailments.
And I prescribe them the KBMOD podcast.
I prescribe them only the dankest of memes.
Doc, I've got a growth on my face. I need you to cut it off. Nope, just listen to this podcast. You'll be fine. Good Lord. Oh,
They say laughter is the best medicine, and we have so far lost only like 6 or 7 patients.
That's true.
In the KBMOD clinic, which has been open for about a week now.
Dr. Craig.
We've also had 7 patients.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Lost 6 or 7. We're still out. The jury's kind of out on that last one.
Yeah.
We think he's going to make it.
All right, and then should we do this other? This is the bonus iTunes review of this week. Okay. This is from KBMOD A or I.
That's the title of the review.
Oh, that's the. I'm sorry. Never
The
mind.
title of the previous review was Truly
Oh,
Insightful.
I'm sorry. I missed the title. Yes, Truly Insightful. Yes, the title of this one is KBMOD A, and this one is by Chancellor Hodes, which I'm assuming that's a first name. That is a fucking majestic first name.
Well, I mean, it could just be a title. Like that may be his first name may be different, but that may be the title he holds. Maybe like a municipal chancellor or something to that effect.
Could be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The PTA chancellor. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. And his comment was, "I enjoy this community and everything it produces. Even Tim, keep up the good work." So, Tim, you are not as much of a hindrance as you think. People are powering through and still enjoying the content.
I mean, being mentioned on an iTunes review, that's a pretty big deal.
I think Tim just got like fully known now because he's in an iTunes review.
That'll be there forever.
Yeah, that will never be. It's online for the rest of our days probably. So, good stuff. Good. Yeah, keep the reviews coming, guys. I mean, I'd love to see. We'd like to have the entire Hodes clan at some point blanketing our podcast page on iTunes with reviews.
Yeah, they're such prominent members of this community. I mean, we definitely want to make sure that they all know each other, like a Hodes family reunion of sorts.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's it, Brandon. Is it?
That is it. That is it for this week, episode 183 of the podcast.
Yes.
We will be back next week, same time, same place. Actually, will we be back next week? Next weekend is Easter Sunday, so I mean,
solid question.
We will probably be back.
That's right. I'm at church from 6 a.m. till 12 till midnight, so I don't think I'm going to be able to attend.
Yeah, I think all of us will be here for the cast, but it is Easter Sunday next week, so if some of you have to go to your Easter Mass and have to miss the podcast. The great thing is that we are on iTunes, and this podcast goes out every Tuesday at noon, so you can still catch up on everything, even if you can't watch live. But we are on all the social media, facebook.com/KBModGaming, Twitter @KBModGaming, youtube.com/KBModGaming. And you can see all of our Twitters here on the screen if you're watching or if you're listening. We have @APLFisher, @KBModJohn, @BlacklightAttack, spelled LITE, and @Stafunoob, and I'm @Volition with a 1. And we will see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.